Hey, how are ya? My name is Ben, and I'm a movie buff. I want you to imagine going to the theater. You step in through the front doors as you smell popcorn, you get some snacks, you get your tickets, you see all these advertisements and posters for movies that are coming to theaters soon. You head to your auditorium, you sit down, the trailers have played, and the movie begins. And as the movie starts, and as you're so curious to see what's going to happen, you hear someone talking, someone joking with their friends. And then, a few rows away, someone turns their phone on, and you can see the bright light from very far away. And then all the while, someone's kicking the back of your seat. It seems to me that some trips to the movie theater are not always the most pleasant for the reason that other people can be disrespectful. Basically, it's bad behavior at the movies. I think sometimes people just need a polite reminder about why we need to be a certain way when we're at the theaters. Whether it be kids or adults, I think everyone could benefit from hearing out thoughts of mine about going to the movies and the way that you should be acting. So, without further ado, let's do this. So the first thing I want to talk about is kicking the backs of people's seats. So the good news about this issue is that it is being solved at a number of theaters with recliner seating. A lot of the theaters in Ottawa are now doing recliner seating, so that way you really don't have to worry about the back of your seat being kicked. However, not all movie theaters are like this. There are still a fair amount of movie theaters that have the usual seats where you don't have that much room, and I get that for most people it's probably kind of uncomfortable, right? You can't really sit back and put your feet up. You kind of have to sit like I'm sitting now for about 2.5 hours while you watch the movie. While you might be uncomfortable in your seat and you might want to move your legs and kind of cross your legs and all that, remember that when you kick the back of someone's seat, and even if you tap it ever so lightly, the person ahead of you, they feel it. They really feel it, and I can attest to that because it's happened many times to me. If you're uncomfortable and you kick the back of their seat, you're making them uncomfortable too. It really makes all the difference for the people sitting in front of you that don't have to feel the back of their seat being kicked as they're trying to watch the movie. So what I would say is take those few extra seconds to be careful about how you move your legs. Some people just don't care and they kind of do this and all that, and as they're doing that, they're probably kicking the back of the person's seat in front of them. Take the few extra seconds and be mindful of all the other people that are sitting around you, because remember, if someone was sitting behind you and kicking the back of your seat, it would irritate you like it irritates me and any other person. So the next one, and this is one that is a pretty common one, is people talking at the movies. It's frustrating. I think you need to remember that when you're going to see a movie, when you're watching a movie and someone starts talking, it kind of takes you out of the experience. It kind of makes you forget for a split second that you're in this story world, right? Because if I'm watching some intense moment or some sort of important moment that I want to see exactly how it plays out, the moment people start talking or whispering, it just takes you out of the experience. And really, at the end of the day, I don't know about you guys, but when I watch a movie, I like to watch a movie without a commentary. I don't like when people make jokes. I don't like when people make, like, oh, that wouldn't happen in real life. I don't care. I'm watching the movie and I don't want to hear anyone else talking. If you're curious about how something, you have a question about the movie, wait until the end of the movie. Think about that one question, because either A, you might get your answer later on in the movie, because some movies work like that. They set up a question and then half an hour later they answer it. Or B, you remember the question and then at the end of the movie you ask your friends or family, hey, I had this question. Because really your priority of like getting your question answered does not supersede the priority of everyone else who paid to see the movie to be able to sit back and watch without having to listen to people talk about it. It's irritating. It is. That's ultimately what it comes down to. And if you want to talk through a movie, do that at home, not at the theater. And last but not least, please, for the love of God, for all that is good and holy, do not use your cell phone during a movie. If you're in a dark theater and you can see your cell phone and there are other people sitting in your general vicinity, they can probably see your cell phone too. So, on the one hand here, let's say you're waiting for an important text, or you're waiting for an important phone call, which I get. Maybe you go to the movie, but you're still waiting on someone to get back to you regarding something. Leave the theater for a minute. I know it might sound like such an inconvenience, and like, why should I have to leave the theater? because you're not the only person in that theater. Because there are, chances are, 40 or 50 other people that paid for the same experience that you did, and they want to watch the movie without people taking out their cell phones. Because if it's really important what you have on your phone, and there's something you have to do, take a moment to leave the auditorium to take care of that, and then come back in. Because yes, it's convenient for you to kind of check your cell phone while the movie's playing, but it's very inconvenient for all the other people that want to watch the movie and not have to look at someone on their cell phone. The reason why I'm doing this in the first place is because I think we need to stop being selfish and start thinking more about the other people in the theater. And I know it sounds silly, but hear me out. When you watch a movie at home, it's a private experience. You can do whatever you want. You can pause the movie. You can rewind the movie. It's your private home. You can do whatever you want with the experience. But then you go to see a movie at a theater. And going to the theater is a very communal experience. You have all sorts of people from different places that work different jobs, that are different ages, different backgrounds, different religions. And they all come together to see a movie because, well, chances are they're interested in wanting to see the movie in the theater experience and not having to wait 4 months for the movie to be released on home video. So really, if that's the case, we need to start treating the theater again like the special experience that it is. And when I think of the theater being a special experience, it's because there are certain things you'll get at a theater that you won't get at home. For example, last year my wife and I went to see A Quiet Place. And seeing it in the theater with 40 other people that all managed to be quiet during the whole movie was kind of powerful. It was a pretty great experience that you didn't have people on their phones or chatting or this and that. Everyone was there invested in the movie because it's a great movie. Then my favorite is seeing Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones in May of 2002 when Yoda slowly goes to confront Count Dooku. Because in that moment, you know what's about to happen. So I remember the whole audience at first when they saw the shadow of Yoda approaching into frame and then you see Yoda coming in. Everyone laughed at first and then everyone applauded. And it was such a cool thing to be a part of because we were all excited. We all wanted to know what happens next. Those experiences that you get at a theater, you don't get while you're at home. It's different. It's completely different. It seems to me that people just think about themselves, which, you know, is understandable. We're trying to take care of ourselves and doing what we like to do. But when you go to a theater, when you go to a communal experience where there are 50 other people there that are potentially there for the same reason that you are, don't talk. Don't go on your phone. Be careful about kicking the back of the person's seat ahead of you and just enjoy the experience. Because that is part of the magic of going to the cinemas, is getting to see a movie on a big screen with big sound with all these people, and you're all there for one reason. It's because you want to see the movie. So those are my thoughts, guys, on bad behavior at the movies. Do you agree with what I said and have some horror stories like I do about trips going to the theater and dealing with difficult people? If so, comment below. Please be sure to comment, like, and share this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.